Ruben Amorim has landed at Manchester United with great anticipation from Manchester United fans all around the world with his unique playing style, something that made him very successful at Sporting Lisbon, playing a 3-4-3. I mean, come on, guys. Everyone has been trying to figure out who's going to start in this lineup. We know that he's going to play 3 in the back, 4 in the middle, 2 number 10s, and the killer, number 9 striker. And we're talking about Viktor Gyökeres, that he converted into the killing goal-scoring machine that it is in 2 years. Man United has been very solid defensively and in the middle, but very poorly in the front three, at least how we score. And Hojlund has not really been given service. Now the question is, knowing that he converted Gyökeres to that killing striker machine that is, who can be his Gyökeres in this formation? Everyone is kind of turning their eyes on the natural talent in Rasmus Hojlund, who hasn't really been developed ever since he started last season. But can Ruben Amorim make his own version of Viktor Gyökeres in Rasmus Hojlund? Please stick around and let's find out with our panel. We're talking about Jarvis Corner, we're talking about Andy Tate, Stu Woolley, and Botswana Puppy. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. This is Mick Ruby. Enjoy the show.
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely. I know.
Okay, let's go.
You know what's interesting, Stu, you're mentioning Amorim has to develop Hojlund, and Gyökeres is 4 or 5 years older than Hojlund, right? And with
he is, isn't he?
Stuff.
Yeah.
But what gives
27.
me, oh, look at that, even more. So 6 years. So now Amorim, for me, what I've been researching about him is that you can see that he's somebody who relishes rebuilding, who relishes developing young players, because when he was appointed, Sporting they had lost Paulinho, Nunes, Voro, and he still didn't sulk. He didn't do anything. He just figured, okay, let me go ahead and coach these young players that I'm getting, the new players that he got, and he turned them into something. So I got a little bit of optimism that he can polish a player that has good resources, a player that has the ingredients, as long as the player is willing to listen and learn.
Yeah, and I like that, because you're right, Pappy. But if you're Hojlund, would you not? There's a question to you all, by the way, and a VAR room.
Yep.
Would you not, when you knew Amorim was coming in, would you not be focusing on Gyökeres, looking at his movement, looking at the way that Amorim wants him to play, so that when he comes, I know Hojlund's on international duty, but when he steps through the door today, when Hojlund comes back, it's all right, Gaffer, I know what you want from me. I know what you need from me. That's what I want to see. Because if I was a player at Old Trafford, and I knew 2 weeks ago Amorim was coming in, I'd know everything there was to know about the bloke when he stepped through the door. I'd know where my position is at any given time on that pitch. I would know everything I could possibly do to make sure I'm invaluable to him. And I'm wondering whether we've got that in our players. It's a question to you all, guys.
Mm-hmm. Interesting question, because he did set that bloke for Lisbon who went from Coventry. He was in the Championship. And he's tearing it up, and that he took raw potential and turned it into a Champions League regular, scoring goals and top of the league. So I see the same sort of mould with Hojlund. It's whether, like you say, can he turn that into positive energy and bring out the better in him. So time will tell. But there is a comparison there between them two players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, I think when it comes to Hojlund, he has to develop his game. He has to mature. He doesn't know how to do the basic stuff as a striker. Some games you see him shielding the ball the right way. He angles his body in the right way. He puts up his arm. He has contact with the center back. That's so important. It's more important to have control on your centre back than it is to have control on the ball itself. That's the most important thing as a striker when you have the back against the goal. Have control on your centre back. Sometimes Hojlund focuses on receiving the ball the right way, but he doesn't have control on the centre back. So the centre back comes running in, and he loses control of the ball because he doesn't have the control of the centre back. He needs to learn the basics, and it needs to be intuitive for him. He has to do it without thinking. And it's not
just
at that
explain
level
it,
yet.
just explain that a bit more, Jarvis, because I know what you're talking about when you're talking about control of the centre. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm a centre back. I'm touch, so I'm like that, quite lightly on his back. That's what I'm doing, and I'm doing it to feel what he's going to do. So anybody who's listening, I'm feeling if he's going to turn left or right. I'm just waiting for that twitch so that I know what I'm going to do. What Jarvis is talking about, if you don't mind, Jarvis, you're talking about looking behind you, seeing where the centre back is and touching, feeling out for him. And as soon as he gets hold of him, either getting hold of his shirt or backing into him a little bit so that he's closer to the centre back. So the centre back doesn't have that time, which you're talking about, Jarvis, coming in and clouting him. That's what you mean by getting control of the centre back. I hope you don't mind me butting in.
You're right. You're seeing it from a defender's perspective, and I'm seeing it from Hojlund's perspective. You have to have control, have an arm on your defender, know where he is all the time, because then you can angle your body in the right way when you receive the ball. If he's on that side, you angle it this way. If he's on that side, you angle it the other way. So it's not that hard, but it needs to be intuitive for him. He needs to do it on the automatic. He doesn't need. You don't have the time to think because everything goes so fast when you're a striker. So it has a lot to learn because we always see, especially in the beginning, he has developed this part of his game, but especially in the beginning, we saw him as a wrestler, as a WWF wrestler all the time, wrestling with the centre backs. And he's strong, but it takes out.
He needs to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. He really needs to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But I don't know.
He's a lightweight wrestler at the moment.
I don't know if you have noticed this from the stands, how Hojlund receives the ball, that he struggles. It's a lot of wrestling when he has the ball.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he didn't do much in the last couple of league matches. Like he struggled to get into positions. All right, he won the pen against Chelsea, didn't he? And that was like rewarding. And but he's been very quiet. He hasn't played bad, but he's like you say, he's not got into them positions where, like you say, the ball's not been put in on the cross, has it? He's not getting in on him. So hopefully that will change in the next few weeks or the next couple of months.
So could that be a consequence of the team not really playing to maximize like Hojlund? Like, we find that in Man United, like the wingers are the ones that get the most chances, that the ones that take the most shots, and maybe because Hojlund is doing UFC fights in the middle. It is one of those things that comes to my mind a bit because, like Ruben Amorim talked about this, saying that, oh no, we do create chances. We're actually up there in terms of chance creation in the Premier League. But you're like, but why is Hojlund not getting the chances? Why is he not taking shots? Exactly. If you see like Haaland, if you see Darwin Núñez, the amount of times those guys get to shoot at the goals. It's so unfair. It's so unfair on Hojlund right now. So
there's an age difference between them two players, a couple of years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That goal from Haaland on Saturday. You want our boy to be like that soon, don't you? But that's going to take that's going to take strength, confidence, and he went and he finished it like a shark. Seen it, bit it, finished it off, and put it in, and that's what we want our boy to be like.
One of the things, Pappy, that Hojlund doesn't do, he doesn't walk around the centre back enough. So when we're whichever side of the ball field we're at, or whether we're playing for the middle, he doesn't wander around. So he's not walking around. He's not pulling the centre back away from the midfielder. He's not pulling the centre back away from Bruno. He's, as Jarvis says, he's quite static, waiting for the ball to. And you'll notice that more, on a match day, that he doesn't move enough. And you don't have to run. You just walk occasionally. You walk to your left. Hopefully, you pull the centre back with you. You're walking behind him, you stand offside, and then get yourself back on. So you don't see all of that with him. And it's, the likes of Salah will test the limit all the time. Darwin Núñez, Andy's right. He had 6 shots yesterday, didn't he, or something ridiculous on Saturday night. 6 shots, 6 attempts on. I know he scored 1, but he had 6 attempts, and that's what we're talking about, because he'll drop deep.
More shots. If you're getting the shots, eventually you're gonna hit the jackpot, aren't you? Keep shooting and shooting. Even like you say, don't shoot wildly. If you're shooting at the goal and carry on, and eventually it's gonna click.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got a good shot.
Brendan comes in and say fighting means that you have zero control of the situation, and this is what I see with Hojlund.
Centre back wins that all the time.
Yeah,
centre back will always win.
You have the back against the goal. You're not controlling the situation.
Well, Harry Kane is good at that. I mean, he was a late bloomer, Harry Kane. He can hold the ball up, lay it onto people to score. He can hold up, turn and shoot. So he's got it all now. Like I say, he's nearly 31, 32. And our boy's just turned 21. So what's he going to be like 23, 24? 25 in his prime? Same with
100%. And he will develop his game. I've seen him develop it immensely since he just came into the club 1 year ago. You remember the first game against Arsenal?
Well, goals last season.
All about wrestling. Now you saw the Brentford game. He was excellent at the Brentford game. The Brentford defender didn't know what to do with him, because they couldn't push up, because it just turned the ball with him, and he dropped down. So they stopped trying after a while. So he's so much better now. But I'm just saying that's a part where he can develop. And when it comes to internet and YouTube shows, people got to remember, we talk about the player. We're not trying to take a dig at Hojlund. I think he's a massive talent, and he will come good, but he needs experience, and we can't expect too much because he's young, and especially as a striker.
Target, isn't it? It's an easy target, and it's like no.
What he needs to do under Ruben now is make sure that he stays fit, because this whole thing of him disappearing for a couple of weeks every new season needs to stop. He needs to.
I think at certain points he was rushed.
Mm-hmm.
We lost him. We won 4 on a spin, and he was rushed back, and we lost him just after we won the 4th on the spin. We lost him against Fulham, and that impacted our form. And we were in contention for the top 4. But to push him, and he didn't recover from that. So at all until the end of the season.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
And there's something else I saw on the game yesterday. It's his movement in the box when the crosses are coming. He doesn't move right or left. He always moves straight ahead in the middle of the center of the goal. He doesn't know how to create space for himself. Yeah, it's very tunnel vision.
He doesn't check his rear view mirror and see all that behind him. I can see lift the visor, mate. You know what I mean?
Yes.
F1 driver, you see everything, don't you? I always see the track. I can see that.
But he has one thought in mind, and that's being first.
Yeah,
in front of the goal. That's his only thought of mine. But he needs to develop this part of the game also. As a striker, you need to just let the defender be first. If you are in front of him, that's no problem. You will be able to score anyway. So
you got to in the 6-yard box, on crosses and corners, you got to play hide and seek actually with the centre half. And sometimes you're better off hiding behind the centre half. But that's all about communication with your wing players. Look, I'm going to be in behind or in between the 2 centre halves. I will step out around the penalty spot so that when you deliver the ball, I'm there. Or I'm going to get in front of the centre half and I want it to my left peg. That's what you have to communicate as a striker. As a defender, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. So you were right there, actually. If you show that picture, you're about what?
Yeah, I just want to, because I have 3 crosses from yesterday's game, first half. This is the first cross in the 11th minute. You see Hojlund here coming in.
Yeah, he's in a good position there.
He's in a good position. The cross is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
the problem is it overhits him. But then again, his movement is just straight toward the goals, and we don't
yeah,
commit
it
a
should have
lot of
gone.
people
It
when
should
we
have
go
arrowed
into
it
the
right.
goal. You see, we have two guys coming in. It's Hojlund and Ahmad, and those are the only ones. The second cross, I think it was from Masraoui again. Here you see him going for, I think it's this angle here. There's an opening. He don't have the full force. He goes into the duel, but he's 1 against 2, or so it's not. He's too static at the moment. He's not having his momentum against the goal, and that's also a problem for a striker. You need to wait and don't take out your space too soon when it comes to attacking the space in front of goal. And the third cross was on the goal, and that was quite good because we came with a lot of people. You see Casemiro here, you see Hojlund here, and you have Bruno here, and Ahmad on the far right. And we came with a lot of people, and then it's difficult for the defenders because they have to split up, and it's not that easy to pick your man. And that's when Bruno scored, or we had the own goal, and you see Hojlund doing actually a good job occupying 2 defenders with his movement. So it's not all bad. It has these moments, but this is a part of the game where we can develop our play.
The problem there, Jarvis, is he was in the wrong place on all 3 occasions. As a striker, he was in completely the wrong place on all 3 occasions. And that's quite harsh to say, because the first one in particular, his position was great, but instead of veering to the right, where he would have gone in the end of it, where there's more space, kind of coming in and around and then bang, would have gone into the opposite corner. He's gone straight.
Yeah,
and then you're risking a duel. Then you're risking a duel, and you don't want to risk a duel all the time. The second one, where you're saying he's looking to penetrate that pocket, it's the wrong pocket. It's the wrong side. He needed to be the far side again, because it's very difficult to either get a header in there.
What I want to say too is just a little bit more chemistry between him and the person who's crossing the ball, so that he can arrive at the first post, at the near post first. Because we have a lot of chances. Like if you look at the movement of Isak actually has a little bit. He has the upper hand on this, so just making sure that you're arriving at the near post first, and that also comes. It's not a one-sided thing. It comes with knowing when your teammate is going to release the ball. So that's sort of like hopefully something that gets
movement should
out.
be like this too. Do you agree?
Yes, that's where it should have been. Yeah, that's exactly where it should have been.
Yeah. That's the movement, not straight ahead. Because he creates space for himself by that movement, because he drags the defender this way, and he can attack this space.
Correct.
Yeah, if he can do that, and he'll draw the attackers, and like I say, he'll create spaces. Like I say, you got Bruno coming in behind. Other players will benefit. Like I say, if he's not getting on the end of it, and it goes to other players, they're drawn to him.
Yeah,
he's got to learn to draw players. Like I say, cause trouble. Get in front, like say, Bennett, so our players can get in on other crosses.
Yeah, he's got to spin. That second one, Mazzari could have played it on the deck, and then it would have been the right place for Hojlund. If you go back to that second one, the start of the second.
This is the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, next a bit further right.
It's whether you got to put it in. No, this is where I was saying yesterday. It's United players were not making the right passes at the right times.
Was there one before that, or was there a picture before that?
Yeah, the first one. This is the first one when he attacked straight.
Not that one. I'm just trying to think of the place.
And then we have the goal. We have the goal. This is the goal.
Right there. Look, you know where Hojlund. You see where Hojlund is there. I know we scored off this, but you see Mazzari's got the ball. If Hojlund was quick and he pointed between the 2 defenders, Mazzari's got the space to whip a lovely ball in, just to almost parallel with the quarter of the 6-yard box. Hojlund could have got in between them, but got a shot off. Although we scored from that scenario anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Different way of playing. But Bruno
scored from the area that Hojlund should have been in.
He should have been there anyway.
Like this. Yeah. So this is the details that a player like Ruud van Nistelrooy actually could help Hojlund to become the striker he needs to be.
Well,
but
maybe
speaking
Amorim
of
can do that.
strikers, we have a Joshua Zirkzee. Do you see any future for him under Amorim?
Oh yeah. You don't write off a 30 million player after 3 months. No chance. Like if you remember his goal, if you're getting into positions and that, he was at the Fulham goal, opening day of the season. The cross was put in, and he was on the end. He stuck a foot out and put it out. Now that's the goal. That's the type of goal that you say in and around the 6-yard area.
Yeah.
You putting balls in like that. You getting on him. He did this against Chelsea in the last minute. He got in, and the cross was brilliant. It was just brilliant defending, but he's getting into them areas. That's it. If the Chelsea lad doesn't clear it, because all the Chelsea players were like, fantastic, you're high-fiving the defender. But Zirkzee got in and caused the trouble. When I say got the corner, because Chelsea were panicking. This was like the 92nd, 93rd minute, but getting it in and around that 6-yard box, and this is where he's got to continue. And like I say, learn, like I say, hopefully the new regime will push him and teach him to keep doing this. And you put the crosses in the box.
Yeah.
You put left and right. He'll get on the end of him.
And there you have it. You heard from the panel, you heard from the brilliant Andy Tate, you heard from Jarvis Corner presenting, you heard from Stu Woolley and Botswana Poppy. But what most matters here in this episode, in this video, is your opinion. Do you agree what the boys are saying here? Do you agree what the panel's saying? Do you agree that Rasmus Hojlund could be developed to be the next Viktor Gyökeres? If not, should Ruben Amorim then go to the January window and get a loan striker, or even better, to wait for the summer and potentially go and buy Viktor Gyökeres? We want to hear from you. Leave your comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It's been Mick Ruby here from Mufc Realist TV, together with the boys in the panel from Jarvis's Corner. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you to the next one. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.